Okay, hello everybody. Oh, okay. I need to send out my message. There we go. Okay, now I'm organized. One of these days. Hope everybody's doing good. I'm just typing out my little message here just to say hi. Hi, Diana. Nice to see you. Uh, okay, here we go. Uh, yeah, you're like the early bird. Early bird. Of course, it's not too early for you out there. So, and who else? Okay, yeah, there's Restream. So I see I'm coming up on. You're always on the right time. But anyway, so we'll take a moment to warm up and see if anybody else cares to join us. Hey, Elizabeth, good to see you. So I'm sitting outside today because it is 72 out today, or was. It's really pretty warm for mid-November. So taking advantage of that, getting some last nice views of that. Ilaria, hey. Says hello from Ilaria, and hello to the rest of the spiritual family. Yes, good to see you here. So yeah, so just enjoying that weather, and it's nice, even though it does still kind of feel a little freaky because it's just not quite the right thing in November. Okay, before I continue, let me read my disclaimer. So this is the Coming Into Being series. Hey, Alejandra. Today is November 10th, 2021. My name is Marianne Carduner with unboundedandfree.com. I'm not a medical doctor or therapist. I do not diagnose, prescribe, or heal. I can scan your frequency and energy patterning and tell you what I see. But please consult a doctor or therapist for professional advice. And all content is copyright protected, and you may not use our content in any way, shape, or form. So there we go for the official stuff. So yeah, I was just kind of getting ready and just kind of feeling into seeing if anything in particular came up to focus on. And really the thing that was really coming through was just in that still place. And there's Matthew in Hawaii. We've got like Italia and Hawaii. This is great. And everybody in between. Bhavna, hello everyone. Can't wait to get started. Yes. So just kind of feeling into that space and getting into that quiet, still place. It's not really still, but it's that. Yeah, it was a little different than still, but along those lines of just that feeling when you go on vacation and you go to the beach or you go to the river, the mountains right there, and you're just kind of sitting back and you just kind of relax, and there's that kind of quiet, and it just. Whew, that's all I can say about, it just that feeling of just that restfulness and that expansion. And I don't know, it's a very restful place. It's a very fun place. And there was this kind of joy and lightness of being that was coming through. So maybe we'll just kind of dive into that and really bring that forth, because it's good. We have a tendency to go through a lot of shifting, a lot of changes, and a lot of stuff that comes up, and clearing all sorts of things, from big huge monsters to little tiny pinpricks, and it's all good and it's all important to do. And then today feels like it's kind of one of those days of just let's just chill, let's just kind of really come into ourselves, and because that's what that place is represents. When you've been on that long hike, or you take that vacation and you finally let go of all the stress of work and everything, and you're just ah it's really good to really enjoy and appreciate those moments. So let's jump into that. Let's jump into that being place that takes us there, so we don't necessarily have to wait until we're on that wonderful vacation, that a wonderful location to experience that. We can just come in whenever we need to and connect inside. And we have Dancing Bloom. Yes. Hey, hey, y'all. Wonderful to be here together. Yes, it's just nice to join in together. And guapa, hola, amiga. So let's take a nice deep breath in, and you can get settled in my environment. Just like to show you a little bit. It just, just nice. Maybe the white squirrel will come out. And if you've been following my white squirrel story on Facebook, maybe he'll come out and say hi, but probably not. He usually comes out in the morning looking for nuts and things. Anyways, so let's just take a nice deep breath in and really tune into that nature, and if you don't have nature immediately around you, and nature can be just that little potted plant that you have, that little, or that vase of flowers that's sitting on your table or whatever. And just look out your window if you have a nice view, and see the trees, the whatever's out there for you. Or you might have a nice view of the ocean, like in Hawaii. I don't know if you've got that going for yourself in Hawaii right there, Matthew, but we'll bring that in. And feel yourself, and close your eyes if you want to imagine that place. And just kind of breathe, and just let yourself relax, and let your breathing slow down. And coming into that more grounded place, and grounded meaning we're coming into our bodies more. Worked on that one before. So again, grounding is really a relative place. There's probably always more grounding that we can get into than where we were a minute ago. And taking some nice, slower, deeper breaths. And as we ground, just allowing anything that's not present moment to clear out. Getting out of that busy mental activity. If we're in school, if we're at work, if we've been at work. And Gustavo Castro, meditation, yes. Hola, hermosa, saludos. Thank you for joining on, Gustavo. I speak a little bit of Spanish, but not a whole lot. I can understand. It's rusty, so welcome. So just kind of getting more relaxed, getting deeper into that breathing. Notice how you slow your breathing down, and then automatically everything kind of slows down. So that's a good way to slow down the mind, is to really breathe in for 2-3 counts, and maybe hold it for 1 or 2, but on the exhale, breathing out for longer than the inhale, and that automatically just helps to bring down the energy, calming the nervous system down, and just bringing us down energetically also everything working together, the mental, the emotional, the physical, the energetic, just moving down more slowly. And Michelle, yeah, we all can always slow down more. There's very few people I've known who could really not use the opposite. So really allow yourself to focus on that breath and listen to it. Like I've got my headset on so I can hear myself breathing. And, feel free to just like close up one ear to hear the breath, and focus on that sound of the breath, of the air coming in. Expanding the lungs. Hold it at the top of the expansion there. And then letting it out. And letting yourself come down. Down to whatever you're sitting on or standing on. You know, and just if we were to take those 5 minutes, I don't know how, it's maybe about 5 minutes, I'm not sure, maybe a little bit more, of just slowing down, of noticing the breath, of just noticing the breath, to just take that break, to step away from everything. You know, and you can be in a really busy environment and do this for yourself. So breathing in, now we can do a lot of things with the breath. You know, on the in breath, noticing the energy moving through you, pulling it up maybe from the energy on up, from the ground on up, pulling it up through your spine, pulling it up through your chakra system if that's, you know, what you focus on. Up, holding it, and then exhaling. And there's a lot of things you can do with the exhale too, but let's focus on just exhaling out all the old stuff, all the old air. And you imagine like we're pushing it out in all directions. And out it goes. All the old, all, you know, all that riffraff, all the dust from the day. And feeling that quiet come through. Okay, so some of you are in a little bit more mental headspace. So working on that. And just keep focusing on your breathing. I'm just going to kind of go through the crowd here and kind of like clear up that mental stress. So it could be worry, it could be tension. It could be you just had an argument with somebody. It could be even just noticing, you know, like you're going home and you're driving or taking the bus home or something, or on the metro, whatever, and there's something that goes on back there and you're just like, oh my God, you know. People can be a little crazy sometimes because they're not centered and they're not stable within themselves. And so you see that, and it's just like some of us are more sensitive, and we can see something at a distance, and it really impacts us because we feel that non-physical space more strongly than others. So taking a deep breath into, so, okay, let me back up a minute. Take a minute right now to notice an area of tension in your body. So it could be the head space, it could be the heart, it could be, you know, somewhere else, the spine, the lower abdomen. There's some area, there's somebody there. There could be feeling like your legs are disconnected from your body. Or maybe even your wrists, you know, just your wrists. I mean, there's a lot of things that can come up. So find that place. Take a moment to just feel your body, notice your body, and see what their place of tension is. And it doesn't have to be real big, strong tension, but something that's like, eh. It's not just like, eh. Just doesn't want to let go. It's holding on. It's like, all right. So just kind of gently put your awareness there. And wherever that tension is, so just make a note of that. And we'll work on that. So we don't all have to have the same area of tension, but the same steps will apply. So take a nice deep breath in for yourself. Come into deeper alignment with yourself. So let's get it. There you go. Everybody's coming to that. Dropping down into the earth. So into the earth, into nature, into those pure frequencies of life around us. And let's get everybody down here. So keep reaching down for a minute. All right, get out. Get out. Yes, I'm talking to the stuff I'm seeing. There's just getting the riff-raff out here. Just those riff-raff frequencies. It's like, not now. We're in the chill mode here, so we don't need those in here. Okay, so now we've got everybody's a little bit better here. So feeling that core of the earth. And so let me walk you through. So just kind of breathe into the core of the earth for a minute while I go through the steps here. So on the exhale, on the inhale, sorry, feeling like you're pulling up that energy, that flow, those frequencies, however you want to call it. It's all good. It's all the same thing pretty much. And pulling that up through your body and into that spot. Let's say if it's my shoulder, into that spot that just is calling attention, that feels like there's a little stress in there. With your awareness on that spot, bringing that, pulling that flow of energy in from the earth, breathing into that. And then on the exhale, just seeing it with that stress just releasing out. So you could see particles, you could see dust, you could see, some kind of shape, some kind of color, just leaving, just letting it out, just letting it go. And bringing more relaxation. Yeah, so that's helping a lot with the headspace there. And you might notice, as you breathe that out, you might notice, okay, there's certain emotions coming up or certain thoughts, and just notice that. Come back to that image of on the in-breath, bringing those frequencies, those energies up from the earth into that spot, wherever it is. If it's a big, long area, just covering that whole, coming through that whole area, like the spine, pulling it all the way through the spine. And then on the exhale, it can go out through in all directions. Oh, nothing is solid here. There's space in between everything, between the particles and between the atoms, our physical bodies, and it's just releasing out. And if you need to, you can take another deep breath. Okay, that's not far enough out. And you can go as pushing it as far as arm's length out from around you. Then it's really out of your space there. So let's keep doing that a little bit. Everybody's in a nice, quieter space there. And you can even do your whole body if you want. Breathing in the middle, like kind of imagine a core channel in the middle of your body, breathing that energy through it, right in the center of your body, like a little tube that's in the center of your body, and then exhaling it out in all directions. Okay, so there's sadness coming up for one person. So if you feel emotion, if you feel tension, come more deeply into that flow. Really kind of just bring your mind back into that flow. And it's like reaching in more deeply, It's like let's imagine that this little knot here is sadness. So you're here, you feel it. So coming in more deeply, because at the core of that, underneath that is that calm, is that quiet, is that light, is that purity. So it's like you have to go through that layer of sadness. It's like, nope, that's not me. Got to come into me. Yeah, there we go. And releasing. And then you can also release down to the earth. Got a lot of people who get really tied up about, well, what happens to these frequencies, all this nasty stuff that I'm releasing from my body, I'm releasing into the earth and all that. It gets recycled. It gets It is part of the system. We live in a closed system. I don't care how big the universe is, it's a closed system. It stays within the system. It just shifts into something else. It gets recycled, gets broken down, and gets turned into something else. Okay. Yeah, mental, emotional stuff. Somebody I studied with a while back, Rosalind Briere, very, very top-notch healer, said if energy goes flying through, I mean, we're talking about something that's faster than the speed of light here, literally. And if you feel like, if you're working on somebody and you feel like an emotion, that's your stuff coming up. There's a little bit more to it than that, but she's got a point there. You know, it's like if something is coming up for you, okay, take a look at that, because literally energy frequencies, they work faster than the speed of light because it's instantaneous. I'm wherever I am. You guys are all wherever you are, and yet we can all be in this timeless space beyond the physical, and everything's happening pretty much instantaneously. So we don't always notice that. It is pretty cool when we do. And that has happened to me sometimes working on people where it's like instantaneous, and we tracking, you know, the person say, well, it happened at this time. It's like, yeah, that's exactly when I was working on you. And this that example that comes to mind for me was the person did not even know that I was working on them. So instantaneous. So it moves. That's pretty fast. So again, taking a nice deep breath in, feeling all that debris that doesn't need to be there anymore, all those particles of dust, of distortion, just pushing through. And you know, it's good to clear out the particles, get that dust out of the system. Okay, there's still one person. If you do not want me to say anything about you on here, please let me know. There's some new people. Gustavo, I hope you maybe can understand. I don't know if you can, how much English you speak, but divine intervention. There's the lightning strike. Hello, welcome. Si no quieres que diga algo sobre usted aquí en inglés, por favor, dígame in the chat. So yeah, so I'll just continue. There's this, so there's, you know, it's like this big block of dark heaviness in here. So I won't say who, so just keep it anonymous here. And let's see. So one of the things to do to shift again, to really clear something up, is to move out of that. So if this headpiece going on here, heaviness in the head, it's like you can't get out of dark thoughts or negative thinking or whatever, or somebody's in there in your head too. Come down to the lowest point possible. So your feet, it could be what you're sitting on. It could be as far down as your feet. And really bring your awareness into your feet and notice the details of your feet. So as you breathe in and feel, really get into that energy, those frequencies, that light, that flow coming in and filling every cell in your feet, the toenails, the tips of your toes, the top, the skin on the top of your feet, the bottom, very different texture, feeling those different textures as you breathe into that, bring those frequencies in there. And the bones, There's some muscle in there. There's some internal tissue like tendons. There's veins. There's nerves. Seeing all of that get filled in. Yeah, so that helps to get out of the head. Very nice. Okay, so that's better. Sometimes we just get stuck, you know, it's like can't let go of that looping in the brain. That's actually also that's a mechanism that happens with pain, where there's actually no physical uh, uh, reason for having the pain. Everything's healed, everything's got, I mean, it's like there's no reason, but the brain circles back around to that signal. And so it's an internal loop, actually. It's a looping around in the brain. So sometimes that happens with thought patterns, you know, just at the mental level, the emotional pattern. We keep coming back to this thing and we can't step out of the hamster wheel. So take a deep breath in. Focus on a body part as far away from that as possible if you can. Sometimes it's hard to get that far away. So if we're in the head, move down to the neck, move down to the shoulders. Slowly move down and take yourself away from that spot and start to work with that. And if you feel yourself getting pulled back up in the line, just take a deep breath in, hold it, exhale out as completely, as deeply as possible, exhaling all the air out, squeezing it out, squeezing it all the way out. And then it naturally comes back in. So that really makes you focus on the breath instead of on the hamster wheel. And that's really, again, a little trick for anxiety, for stress, for snapping out of that, not being able to break out of something. Okay. So let's just come back to the breath for a minute. And noticing that movement of the body with the breath on the in breath and the out breath. In breath expanding out at the top of the chest. And exhale. And you might also notice two layers. You might notice the physical body moving, and you might notice that you're feeling like another layer that's off the body, that's tuning into your energy field. At your non-physical aspect. Now, if you notice that for yourself. Just kind of pay attention to that and let yourself be aware of both. And let's all just kind of come into that restful place. You've got that painful spot, just kind of, or that spot that wants attention still. Just kind of feel it melting more with every breath as we kind of go deeper into this calmness and this stillness and this relaxation. You know, if you're out on a hike and you get to the mountaintop and you're kind of all over the place, walking up and down and talking and look at this, look at that. Chill, sit down, look at the view. So this is kind of that. Today is about that place. It's a very good, nourishing place to be. So coming into that nourishing place to be. Focusing on the breath. And if you've got that tension that's coming up, because I'm seeing that same person that's got that tension coming up, that stress. I think a lot of people in here are kind of used to that. So if you're new, there's a lot of the group here is used to that. So we're kind of like, okay, we find our rhythm when we find our group here. So that's okay. Just take that time, make a little bit more effort, take another deep breath in, exhale out completely. So if you're still feeling kind of that stress, that tension, you know, it's just for right now, just for this moment, letting it go. We can come back to it later. And it's okay. Gonna just work on shifting that a little bit because I'm having a hard time with letting that go. And we'll just put it aside for right now. Coming back into that breath. And that just kind of that relaxing, sitting back. So you can imagine yourself at the beach, on the mountains in the woods with a nice view. It can be a view that's far, far away, that stretches far away in front of you, or just the scenery immediately around you, nature. And feeling that, you know, when we can relax or allow ourselves to relax, even if it's just for 5 minutes, then the body starts to be able to rejuvenate itself, regenerate itself. You know, that's sort of why sleep is important, because it's about resetting, rejuvenating, reorganizing, nourishing all that nourishment to come through again, and that quiet space and that quiet time. Well, unfortunately, a lot of people don't have that quiet sleep because they're off their natural sleeping rhythm because of work schedules, or because they live in a very noisy environment. And you might get used to it, but internally you still are taking in that noise. So you're able to live past, sleep past that noise in the background, but it still does not give you that deep, restful sleep. I had a friend who lived in New York City for a really long time, and she loved it there. She thought she was fine, and then she moved out west to Colorado, and it took her. It was an adjustment because all of a sudden it's so quiet, and it was a little freaky at first for her. You know, she was like, "Whoa." Disorienting, you know, it's like, wait, so unsettling even feeling. And then when she got used to it, when she got into that rhythm of nature, of just calm, the quiet, it's like, I don't know how I lived in New York City. Realizing that that noise was constant in her mind, even when she was asleep. So she had been able to sleep around it. So just that example of how we need that calm, we need that nourishment from just that rest, just from that doing nothing. Right, Dancing to Bloom, doing nothing. We were talking about that the other day together. You know, and so that rest, that allowing ourselves to just be. Yeah, very nice. Now everybody's in that place. And the stress might be there a little bit, but it's like just kind of lowered it a few notches, so that's good. Just to take that time. When we give ourselves that time to come into that rest, that being, that doing nothing, relaxing, and we can all of a sudden get those insights. That's what I need to do about that. Or, yeah, I can just let go of that. Or, oh, I need to talk to this person, whatever. Or this is the steps, the solution to the thing. It just pops in, So it's like your spirit is waiting for you to like slow down, chill, get quiet, so it can talk to you because it's talking about this loud compared to everything else around you. So it's just, hey, just want to talk to you. So we need to get to that quiet space, that slow down, slowing down with the breath, slowing down with the being. Yeah, very good. Very nice. Okay, yeah, somebody's got a lot of emotional suffering, I'm going to say. That's kind of coming up. It's not so strong as it was early, but it's coming up still. So just allow yourself to breathe into that. And sometimes, it's like one of the reasons we don't slow down and we don't take that quiet time is because there's that layer underneath that we don't want to feel, that we don't want to go to. So remember, it's like you've got these layers. So you're sitting here and you've got, first there's this, and this, and this piece is here and you really don't want to see it. So you're kind of sitting up here. You're just waiting for that. You're like, no, I'm just going to stay up here. And then when you allow yourself to relax, you naturally come here and you feel it. So take a deep breath into that and allow yourself to just notice that piece, because it does not go away simply because you don't go there. And maybe there's that helpless feeling coming up because of whatever it is. You feel like you realize there's not a whole lot you can do about it. It just is the way it is. So just being there with it, just coming to that, just breathing into that, just relaxing into that. And in that moment, it feels like there's nothing you can do. Maybe there is, but if you're sitting up here, you won't find the answer. It's like you got to come down into here so that it loosens up, And maybe when you're here, you all of a sudden realize, like, oh, God, there's all this stuff here. There's all this darkness underneath here, or all this tension underneath here, And so you didn't come down to here because you didn't want to see this piece and everything that was maybe creating that piece. And maybe that's the helplessness. So just breathing into that. So everybody's got that piece, when we just get running around, we need to take care of this, take care of that. We just kind of like, so we don't allow ourselves to relax completely. When we feel that pain, we don't want to go into that pain. Because it does not feel comfortable. So falling into that helpless of just, and it's a helpless feeling when we just let ourselves to come, be there, be present, and not do anything, not try to change it, not try to make it something that it isn't, try to avoid it. It's that helpless feeling of just, I don't know what to do. And I've tried all of this, and I just don't know what to do. XYZ, it still hasn't cleared up. It's still this battle going on. So in this moment, right here, right now, just allowing ourselves to just, okay, yeah, this is what it is. And not look for that fix, not look for doing something with that to change it. Very good. Yeah. There we go. So it's hard to feel that helplessness and that peace where you feel that tension and you feel like you can't do anything about it. And just breathing into that, and that tension literally starts to melt away. You still might feel that, but physically that tension, just that tension of trying to stay away from that, of not feel that, of keeping away from that, melts away. And it does not feel good, and we got to be okay with that. We just need to be okay with that. Kind of give ourselves a break. And when we can come into that place of not fighting ourselves, because that's basically what it amounts to, fighting, resisting what's in us, then we can finally get to that place of being, it's what people call that rawness, when you're with somebody and you can feel, and they're just so present, and they feel so present and alive, even though it's that pain, and that's okay. Being there with yourself. This is honestly who you are in this moment. This is honestly where you are at and who you are in this moment. It might not be your best self, and that's okay, because letting yourself be in that place of pain, whatever it is, of resistance, of letting go of that resistance, but of like of that helplessness rather, that's that's a truer expression of yourself. And when we let ourselves go to that level, then that brilliance that we have inside, that brilliance that we are, is really starting to show through, really starting to come through. You know. So yeah, very good space, everybody. Yeah, very nice and deep, and allowing yourself to go deeper. So that's very nice. Take a deep breath in, into where you are, good and bad and whatever. That's okay. And just breathing into that place, a much deeper place, and there's a calm there. There's a quiet. There's a relaxation because the muscles in your body are not tightening up as you try to stay away from something. And you might feel tired. You might notice how tired you are from physically, emotionally, mentally holding up, holding away. Yeah, there we go. So everybody might need to take a nap after this, chill out, go take a hot bath just to get really kind of, because there is that tired feeling that comes up when we've been holding against something for so long. And maybe even not necessarily a long time, but when we resist something, it is just, everything gets tight, physically, emotionally, mentally. And when we let go of all that, just you feel that tiredness, you feel that exhaustion, because it does take a lot of work to stay up, stay away, stay above something that is there, that's underneath, that needs to just be let go of, be moved into, moved through. Yeah, there we go. And yeah, so some tears for some people. tiredness, physical exhaustion, but also, that mental exhaustion, that emotional exhaustion that can kind of come through. Ooh, so good rest. So let's take a nice deep breath in. Focus on in this place, pulling in from the earth, really reaching into those nature frequencies. If they're around you, that's wonderful. Look at behind me and really feel into that through the image. You don't have to be right here with me, but you can just tune in and feel that through the image. Feel that through your imagination. That works just as well. Feeling yourself in that, on that beach, on that mountaintop, in those woods, by that river, on that ocean, and feeling, and with the in-breath, pulling those nourishing frequencies. Yeah, it's been a busy week, so this is good. Just take that time to just, so busy, so you keep going, you keep running to the next thing, and this moment, coming into this moment. So that's part of the tension. That kind of resisting and not having that space for that moment, that's part of that tension that comes up in the system too. So it doesn't have to be like this emotional stuff, this mental stuff, whatever. That busyness is part of that. Breathing in those frequencies, filling yourself up. So with the in-breath, again, with each in-breath, just pulling it in through your whole body. And on the exhale, just releasing it out. Yeah. And you can take this time, just 5 minutes. I mean, 5 minutes is not that long. If that even feels too long, 1 minute, clock yourself. Put that timer on your phone on there. 1 minute. Come and focus in on your breath. 1 minute's going to seem like a really long time, especially the first time you do it. It's going to seem like about an hour. Just wait for that timer to go off. Keep focusing on your breath. Keep focusing. Don't look at the timer. Put your timer away. Focus on the breath. Focus on the breathing. Allow yourself to come into this moment, even if it's just 1 minute. And relaxing into that. And taking a nice deep breath in for that relaxation, relaxation feeling, that rest, there we go. Coming more into that side now. Good, very nice. And expanding out. Yeah, good. Very good. So, and you might still feel some of that. That's all right. Part of the deal with life is learning to notice that going on here, and just let me take this 1 minute here. Yep, nope, 1 minute right here, right centered on here. This is going to keep going. It's just going to keep going. So it's like, okay, that's fine. I'm right here. I'm going to take that minute. You're just going to have to wait for me to go through my 1 minute on my breath. And when you do that for yourself, got to go to the next thing, whatever, take that 1 minute. Maybe look in the mirror at yourself. Are you ready for your meeting? Take that one deep breath. Relax. Take a couple more. Let's just not do one, because then we can start quickly running away after that one. Take another deep breath in. And then exhaling, make sure you exhale all the way out. And when you give yourself that pause time, even just 1 minute, you can move into the next, more prepared, fuller, more present, able to engage more. And have better results, for yourself with whatever you're doing. Be more present, have better interaction with the person, better connection, better communication. You won't get road rage. That would take care of road rage. Wow, just think, everybody get in their car and they're just like, okay, let me focus my breath before I get going. Feel that tension. Okay, on the exhale, releasing that tension. A couple more breaths, and then going on the road. Oh my God. Wouldn't that solve a few problems on the road? So very good. Good work, everybody. Very kind of a quiet space today, so that was good. It's good to kind of get into that quiet space and not get into what's wrong with this, what's wrong, what's going on with that. Let's just kind of chill, So I have put up on YouTube a couple videos to check out. If you're not on YouTube, just go over to my channel. It's my name. It's not on unboundedandfree.com. It's Marianne Carduner. If you get the newsletter, I'm thinking, okay, how do I spell that? I can put it up on the chat here as I'm talking. So I'll put my name up for a minute. And the French people have a hard time spelling it. So that's why I chose unboundedandfree.com. So if you go, that's my YouTube channel. If you look me up that way, I put a couple of videos for my program that I've started doing again, the Pure Life Infusions series. So there's a little video, so it's real short. It's about 7 minutes or something, so you can get a taste of that, of what the Pure Life Infusions is all about. There's also a little short video, about 15 minutes long, just this little chat back and forth with me and with my buddy Bhavna. She's asking me questions because she was interested in what I was doing, and so got into asking me questions. Well, what about this and that? So giving you kind of the hows and the whys of Ply, as it's called for short, Pure Life Infusions series. So it's a monthly program with once a week. So 4 times in a month, to have a session with a group of people and get infused with the purity of life, the purity of being. And it's a very deeply nourishing meditation, frequency repatterning meditation, because it's not just going into a meditative state. It's actually getting into getting that repatterning and shifting those frequencies. And it's about reestablishing that reference point to the pure life, to the pure self, because it's so far removed from our psyche, even in terms of our spirits. I mean, we're talking about eons, hundreds of thousands of years, so far back that it's like it's non-existent. So it's to give you that orientation in your consciousness now, to move forward. And it's a deeply clearing and deeply resetting meditation. So that's going to be in December. Going to start that. I will send out a newsletter with a little bit more information and links to all that. So if you go on YouTube, please like my videos. I really appreciate that. For those of you who do that, it just helps to get that video to other people who might be interested. That's really what it's about. And so I'd like to get this work out to people who would benefit from it, because I think there's a lot of people out there. We got 7 billion people on the planet that we need to get moving and move on up. So that would be your part, is to click my video to help me help them, get them to that better place for themselves. So, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And there we have it. There it is for today. So good session. Thank you all for joining in. Very quiet session. It's good to have that quiet time sometime. And like Michelle says, slow down. Yes, take that time to slow down. So next week again, there's on Wednesday, there's this, and on Thursday, same time, 4 o'clock, I will be doing land culture people clearing for El Salvador. So there's, yeah, I feel already, there's been a lot of there's just a lot that needs to be cleaned up there. So that will happen then. So Elizabeth, thank you, Marianne. Yes, thank you, Elizabeth, for coming in. Glad you could join us. And Bhavna, thank you, Marianne. Much needed meditation. Yes, good, good, good. Yeah, I think we all kind of, it's been like a busy week in a lot of different ways, more ways than we can say. But anyways, so thank you all for joining in, and see you next round in the ethers or in some session or in one of these.